Provide a little more perspective on just what's happening.
Yeah, we're heading into a busy weekend of weather with atmospheric rivers back to back heading for the Bay Area. So we want to talk more about those features because we throw those terms around, and it's good every once in a while to reset and just redefine exactly what we are talking about, because atmospheric rivers aren't the storms themselves. They are features in the atmosphere that these storm systems direct towards the coast. An atmospheric river is a channel of air in the atmosphere that sends copious amounts of moisture from the tropics and the subtropics towards the higher latitudes where we live. We call them atmospheric rivers because they transport an unbelievable amount of water, more water than flows through the mouth of the Mississippi River, suspended in the atmosphere over our head. And like rivers, they're relatively narrow features, especially in the scale of the atmosphere, anywhere from 250 to just short of 400 miles across. But again, they are sending all of that moisture towards us. They send it for thousands of miles over the ocean, but eventually they interact with land as they hit the coast, and the higher elevations of the coastal ranges around the Bay Area squeeze the atmosphere, compact it vertically, and like squeezing a sponge, that forces some of that moisture to be squeezed out of the atmosphere overhead. So with these atmospheric rivers, we see moderate to heavy rainfall across the Bay Area, beneficial rains in the case of weaker atmospheric rivers, but when you have back-to-back weak atmospheric rivers like we're going to see this weekend, or a strong atmospheric river, it can be damaging, both in terms of the amount of rain, the intensity with which it falls, and also the winds that tend to accompany the storm systems that send those atmospheric rivers towards us. Now, we've had a number of these over the past several weeks, so I want to give a little more perspective of some of the other factors at play, and one of the big ones is the El Nino event that has been underway since last year. That is unusually warm ocean water around the equator that is highlighted in the yellow, orange, and red, right around the middle of the planet. That unusually warm ocean water also warms up the air above it, and that warmer air disrupts the flow of storm systems, not just in that part of the atmosphere, but around the entire world, and that has implications for how the big picture weather patterns evolve all the way towards the west coast and really around the entire northern hemisphere. The usual pattern is that we see wetter than normal conditions in Southern California, with the Bay Area on the edge of that wetter than normal signal. But you can really see the impact of that pattern just by looking at the percentage of normal rainfall that we've picked up so far in the month of February. Thus far, we have picked up anywhere from 130 to 200% of normal rainfall through the first half of the month around the Bay Area, but 200 to 400% of normal rainfall for Southern California. And there's more on the way as we head through the next several days. We'll get into the details of what's going to happen hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes.